For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Reconstructed, rehabilitated, and that should be done at the earliest possibility. So says our Prime Minister, backed up by the Public Relations Officer of the governing St. Lucia Labour Party. We'll be focusing on this during the course of our program. Yesterday's passionate caller of the day. We'll be hearing from our granny caller as well, and a whole lot more. No doubt we'll be hearing from you at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And Kimani will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. I get the impression, Kimani, that people are already commenting in the chat room, so we'll be turning our attention to those comments in just a moment as we host yet another edition of NewsSpin. Kimani, what is happening so early in the broadcast as far as the comments in the chat room?
Someone says, hi, Timmy. Thanks for NewsSpin. The voice of NewsSpin is deep in Connecticut, USA. And we just have some greetings and a happy Friday to all.
Okay, so hello to the folks over in Connecticut in the United States. When you do that, you have to talk about the British Virgin Islands. You have to talk about the folks over in Castries, in Dennery, in Soufriere, all over St. Lucia. The folks who are watching and listening in Dubai as well as Martinique, around the world, hello to you. And in case you want me to shout you out in terms of your location, please send us a request in the chat room and we'll be doing you the honors. So yesterday, we saw the photograph of a man on the streets of Corinth, lifeless body. And this would have elicited lots of comments on social media because of the circumstances reportedly under which he was shot and killed. So we have some official information to share with you via a press release from the Press Relations Department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. And it reads, on Thursday, August the 3rd, 2023, at about 6:20 p.m., officers attached to the Groseley police station received the report of a robbery at Corinth, Groseley. On arrival on the scene, officers observed one male with apparent gunshot wounds about his body. The male was later identified as 33-year-old Ted Smith of Monrepo, Mico, was transported to the Owen King European Union Hospital, OKEU, via ambulance and was later pronounced dead by a medical practitioner. Ted Smith was reportedly committing an armed robbery and in the process was fatally shot by a licensed firearm holder. A post-mortem examination is scheduled for a later date. Investigations are ongoing into this matter. Once again, press release from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. As the Prime Minister says, one life lost is one too many. But are there circumstances when it is justified to take a life? Case in point is the life which was lost yesterday over in Corinth. And we do not want to pass judgment on anyone because, again, we don't know the circumstances under which this incident occurred, but somebody was fatally shot in the process. No, in this country, we don't like to speak ill of the dead. Imagine somebody's alive and we attack them, we humiliate them, we chastise them, we put them under all kind of pressure. When they pass away, we say nice things about them because, we are hypocrites in this part of the world. We're known for that. Even in an era of social media, where all the clips are there, you have so much information, people can go back to what you said a few years ago, compared with what you're saying now, juxtapose it, wait, etc. People are still trying to delude you into believing they are what they are not. So I'm saying all that to come back to the real point. And that is criminals, those people who go out there armed with unlicensed firearms, etc., machetes, you name it, who believe that they can engage in criminal acts and get away with it on every occasion. Obviously, those people are misleading themselves. They are deluding themselves into believing that they are the luckiest among us. And I'm telling you, the criminals in St. Lucia are very, very fortunate, very lucky, because it would appear that 10 out of 10 times there would be a robbery at some establishment in the country, some private residence, and the perpetrators would walk away unscathed. They'd walk away freely with their loot. And it's only on rare occasions, as was the case yesterday, that this individual was shot in the process. And maybe some people tell you it's all the reason why every effort should be made to issue licenses to people, to private citizens to carry a firearm, to have a firearm in their possession. And the new commission that has been set up to look into this, along with the police commissioner of the country, they would have to continue to tread cautiously. But in this current environment that we are in, where criminal elements, the average criminal is armed with a firearm, a lot more licenses should be given or issued to private citizens so that they could be in a position to defend themselves. Now, there must not be any kind of abuse. There must not be the use of excessive force, but private citizens, they have a right to defend themselves because they do not have a chance. Coming across a criminal who has a licensed firearm, clearly they're at the mercy of those individuals And what is happening right now certainly warrants the issuance of more firearm licenses. So, let this be a warning to other individuals who just want to walk into business establishments, walk into homes, and just believe that they could just walk away with possessions, with certain items, with things that they did not work for, that do not belong to them. There comes a time when people will fight back out of frustration, and they will allow the law to carry the investigations. They don't mind being in a position where they have to answer questions issued to them by the police, as opposed to them not being in a position to answer because their lives have been snuffed out. There comes a time when people will definitely decide that enough is enough. And maybe that was the case yesterday, but we are told, as I read, that the police are investigating this latest incident. Yesterday you heard the island's Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for finance sounding very cheerful. Why? Because he got the opportunity to borrow $201 million. You know, I mean, how you feel to borrow so much money, and you know that you're not responsible for financing that loan, whether it is at 1% or whether it is at 2%, you're just not responsible for financing the loan. And that has been the situation with our various ministers with responsibility for finance. Go before the island's parliament, seek permission. It is as if they're going to Fast Cash to get a loan of $500 for Carnival or $500 for Christmas. Easy does it. And they don't care how they will finance that loan. So, as has been the case with our leaders over several decades, this Prime Minister just freely announced that he, through an agreement with the Saudi Development Fund, has secured a loan of a little over $201 million. And even says that in the case of some other project he was talking about, where a lease has been given to Global Port Holding, 30 years that he might not even be around at that time, 30 years later. But anyway, such is the manner in which our leaders take certain decisions or make certain decisions, because they know that long term it will not have any kind of implication for them or not have any kind of impact on them. But $201 million, that clearly is a lot, against the background of what has happened to that St. Jude Hospital reconstruction or rehabilitation project. Millions have been expended on that particular initiative. And what do we have to show for it? One set of abandoned buildings that would have been constructed by the previous St. Lucia Labour Party administration, and another building that has been abandoned, constructed by the previous administration. And all administrations are telling you that when they got into office, upon closer examination, they realized that they cannot use this building or these buildings. In the case of the United Workers' Party administration, and in the case of the SLP, we can't use that box. This is just a glorified box. We can't use it. And they select a committee, various occasions, select committees and bodies to review and so on. What do you expect? You get what you pay for. If you are paying someone to provide you with information that they know would be pleasing to your ears, that is exactly what they will do. Because in St. Lucia, we are not in the business of speaking our minds. We're not in the business of being honest with each other. We will tell you what you want to hear. Far less in a situation where you are being paid to carry out some kind of investigation, some kind of probe, to analyze something. What do you expect? And so those various bodies come up with the responses that their bosses would like to hear. But the evidence is there, clearly. Although there's denial and from certain standpoints. But both administrations, both governments have clearly failed us. And I can imagine if you bring in some people from the World Health Organization or some health institution coming into St. Lucia to carry out some study or research, will tell you, but you guys have failed. That's what they'll say. You guys have definitely failed. And if it was the monies or finances of those people who were presiding over those projects, take, for example, the $201 million, they would be a little bit more careful. And so it's not coming from their personal accounts, and therefore they can do as they please. Even in the case of the Prime Minister, can tell you, and I want to get the correct quote, speaking yesterday at that signing ceremony, the hospital is to be completed at the earliest possibility. He can't tell you. He's maybe not interested in finding out whether it will take 1 year, 2 years, 2.5, 3 years. At the earliest possibility, this will be completed. Now, should we accept this? But let's listen to the Prime Minister in his own words, speaking yesterday during that signing ceremony.
The hospital buildings where work will not stop. We expect that the hospital buildings to be completed at the earliest possible opportunity. The hospital buildings where work will not stop. We expect that the hospital buildings to be completed at the earliest possible opportunity.
So construction will be completed at the earliest opportunity. And he throws out a jab where work will not stop. So you call that Parole jeté. The work will not stop in this project. Remember, the previous administration stopped work on the other St. Jude Hospital project, but in this particular case, it will only continue. So jumping to the defense of the Prime Minister on his inability or failure to tell us when this project will be completed is government senator and the PRO of the ruling St. Lucia Labour Party, Senator Lisa Jawayer.
Now, in my opinion, I have seen what has transpired with other individuals who have come out and said that the hospital would be completed in this year. The hospital will be completed by December 2020. If we do not complete the hospital before the end of our term, this, that, and the other, then we deserve to be out of government. It has been risky because, and I know that it is obviously stressful for the people of St. Lucia, not knowing every single detail that is transpiring, Timothy. I certainly understand that because people want the hospital to be complete. But at the end of the day, I believe, I'm not speaking for the Prime Minister, but I believe that the Prime Minister is just being cautious as to giving a particular date because in the past we have failed. When I say we, I'm talking about every one of us have failed to deliver for the people. The only thing I, Lisa Jawayer, can hold Philip J. by is that Philip J. has promised me, Philip J. has promised St. Lucian, that before the end of his term, we will have a hospital. We voted him 5 years, and I believe it is only fair for us to give him the 5 years to deliver. If he does not, then the people of St. Lucia should judge him by that.
PRO of the SLP government senator Lisa Jawayer. So it's very risky. If the Prime Minister were to say to us, the project will be completed within the next 2 years or within the next 3 years, year and a half, etc., very risky. So the Prime Minister can't take that chance. Let's open the lines to take your calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Our Newspin question of the day: what do you think of the $201 million Saudi loan? We have a call. Good afternoon, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Pineapple. How are you, sir?
I'm just trying.
What's on your mind?
About the St. Jude's issue, I support fully, right? In fact, the amount of money that was borrowed, I support it 100% because I heard the Prime Minister talk about that the new structure will be part of it. I'm in favor of it. But the issue I have is the old St. Jude's, the old hospital, right? Remember, right, a number of faults were discovered. Remember there were a number of faults were discovered, you know. Do they have any testing equipment, right? Because I think they said there is 25 separate buildings. So I want to ask Henny Cat and John Peters, do you all have any testing equipment to test? In fact, what I really needed to say was the quality of work that was done, right, on the old St. Jude's. That was during the time of the Labour Party in 2011, I think, to 2016, because that is when all the faults were discovered. Remember the missing bolts, right, from the channel iron, right? They were supposed to have 4 massive nuts and bolts, right, to hold that structure. I think one of them was installed and it was missing. They were missing about either 2 or 3. Right? Remember the casting over the tiles, right? And remember the submerge, right? The complete submerge of the laundry. And who knows, they may have a lot of undisclosed faults which they have not been seen or they have not been rectified. So I want to ask Henny Cat and John Peters, do you all have any testing equipment to test every building, right? To find out if it's structurally sound, so that you all could spend, because supposing you're going to spend another $100 million, right, on the old St. Jude's, and then you have an earthquake or a major hurricane or something, you all are going to wait until that time, right, for this phenomenon to expose all the remaining faults? I want to know, right? So I think these things have to be looked at very carefully, right? Very, very carefully. Okay? And going back to what I said, that the Prime Minister mentioned about the box, or what they want to call it, that I hope that a lot of money be spent on that box and make it part of St. Jude's. That's what I have to say.
All right. Thank you so much for expressing your opinion on this issue. Somebody just sent me some photographs of health institutions in Saudi Arabia that look similar to that of the one that was constructed by the previous administration. The one is being described as the box. So I'll be showing you some of those pictures in just a moment, but we have a call. This is NewsSpin. Hello. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Tim, good afternoon.
Hi. Good afternoon, sir.
I think I would give NewsSpin a break, but I can't do that. I just cannot do that. I mean, more and more we have problems, and we cannot just stay quiet. You see, your first caller, your Pineapple Man, you make a valuable point. I do construction, Tim. I'm involved in construction. If you have a house, Tim, and it was not designed to have a casting deck on it, would you do that? You don't see that? You don't believe that's a risk?
Yes, risky, yeah.
Because if you were to do that, you would need to have what you call reinforcement pillars to accommodate in the weight of that building.
Well, that's where the professionals come in to advise you, to tell you the kind of material you should use and the design and what kind of structure you should be constructing because of the nature of the soil and the area and things of that nature.
Because, Tim, I work in that old St. Jude's. I was involved in working in the Poleon. That's for the roofing part. And the construction on that building was poorly done. Poorly done. And if you were to go and do excess amount of work in that particular building, because if you drill that hole and you put in a raw bolt in it and you tighten it, it's not going to stay strong for you. Okay? So that is already show you how risky it is to go and build on that old building. Now, for the Saudis, which I know, they are very professionals in terms of building. They in Dubai, you see how they build in that country, and they build for all type of weather activities. And I was very much puzzled to see the Saudis. You know, among all people, I mean, knowing the Saudis very well, to accept that building and to give that money. Although I know the guys don't care, they give you money, they don't care where you put it, you will have to pay back.
Well, the Prime Minister said, had discussions with the Saudis, officials from the Saudi government. They had, in the case of St. Lucia, we had our own professionals in discussions and so on. And the Saudis agreed that the buildings were suitable to serve as a hospital. They're quite suitable.
But Tim, the amount of monies, I don't know when last you, I mean, as a journalist, it would be good that you visit in that places and look at the two buildings. The amount of money, if you were to make that old building turn, in fact, that chicken cage there, to make that a real hospital, it will cost a lot of money. If you want to build a...
But you cannot make such an assessment just based on what you see, Connor. There has to be a lot deeper than that. So
I know you know.
We have to leave that for the experts.
Whatever we're talking about, expert, everything is... Who is the expert? What the expert? Magenicat, who take almost 5 years to build a square and so forth. Who is the expert?
No, I'm just telling you, generally speaking, you need the engineers to come out there. Those who have the experience, the right equipment to make that kind of assessment. I just can't go there and take a look and say, boy, that look like some old structures, not suitable for an hospital, and then this one is more suitable. That's not how you do things.
Tim, everybody call the building the previous administration was building as a box. The problem with that building,
but you have such boxes all over the world, and we have a picture to show you that we have such boxes even in Saudi Arabia.
That is where I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that building was designed and made, it was suitable to accommodate in any tropical climate, you know, in terms of hurricane and earthquake. And I dare telling you, and I'm challenging you, if we have an earthquake and it measure maybe 5 point whatever, 6 on the Richter scale, and that happened to be more into the south there, that blue structure they have, they're going down, you know.
I don't know that, because that's everything to do with the depth. No, the depth of the earthquake will determine the level of destruction, caller. Not basically if it's 5 on the Richter scale or 9 on the Richter scale. It's the depth of the earthquake.
So again,
all right, but on the face of it, let me agree with you on one thing. It does not look good. I might be wrong. You can't judge things based on how you see them. But just looking at those structures, 20-odd structures, they don't look as if, you know, they could serve properly as a hospital, as a health institution.
Because finally, Tim, what I am saying, and I'm not just saying what they're saying, I hope they could tell you what I'm saying. That building cannot withstand what I mentioned there a while ago. I'm telling you that. That building, you see there. When the guys were building, they bring the excavator to dig the foundation there. You know, it had to take a huge and massive excavator to really destroy that foundation, you know. Because the type of concrete they made there, I had a few pieces of those still there, that brand new hospital that the Americans built in 1940, right? You know, and they still were brand new. And when you move all that foundation, completely remove that, and you backfill that and put those steel we use, like 3/8 or what? I'm sorry, not 3/8, 3/4 mile steel, construction, the rough steel in that, and to go on for years that have been down. Yes, that building was built without any approval. No plan. They didn't have a plan building that. That was, they wanted to finish that quick, and then that stopped where it is. So I am very much concerned about take all of that money and put into something and put human beings there to be housed there as a hospital. It's only the Lord knows that we might not encounter something. I mean, just go and finish the other building. I doubt if it will take $100 million, the so-called box, instead of going back deliberately. Because, you know, taxpayers, whether I beat my mouth on NewsSpin and you and anybody else, we have to pay that money at some sort of time. Oh, but only the Lord knows. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So, what's a message? Here are a couple of photos, and we have the photos to show you now. But you can also do a quick search. They look very much like the so-called box. The contribution continues. There are certainly not multiple detached buildings. So why would the Saudis advise to go ahead with the old buildings? That's a WhatsApp message as we turn our attention to Kimani and the chat room.
Someone in the chat room says, there is a reason why old buildings are demolished or imploded in metropolitan countries. Buildings have a lifespan like anything else and do become outdated and depreciate in value and structural integrity. Building new in most cases costs a lot more than refurbishment. Someone says, caller, the faults could be rectified. Come on, man. Another comment, sorry, you cannot expect us to accept that the PM is being cautious when the last administration was not given a pass, not even when we were in the middle of a pandemic. There is nothing hindering this PM as drastic as a pandemic, and you want us to understand? Whenever the shoe is on the other foot, we tend to understand and expect everyone to be accommodating. Another comment, I agree with PJP, don't give a date because Alvino already gave enough dates for previous and future SLP tenures. Someone says, would be beautiful if all contractors can set completion dates for their projects at the earliest possible time. Sounds like a cost plus contract. There is a significant and real cost to extension of time to construction contracts and such a thing called liquidated damages, SMH. Tim, we had an airport built in our state. We had start and end dates with updated information along the way. We were even told that the project would be completed earlier than planned and given the new date. I also think there were financial penalties attached for going over the date and rewards for getting it done earlier. Someone says, Tim, the project will be completed. Another comment, Guy Joseph and Fresh Start was given the direct awards worth over $50 million and there's nothing to show for it at St. Jude Hospital. Tim, anyone who makes a decision to steal should expect to get killed. PJP and the SLP gave Alan Chastney so much pressure for the airport loan, which was far less and had a dedicated repayment stream from airport departure taxes. Now he goes and puts $201 million on the backs of St. Lucians with no clear repayment stream except perhaps the 2.5% levy. Someone is asking, is there a new police commissioner? Do you have any update on that, Tim?
No, but we know that we have an officer in charge of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, and that is in Mr. Roland Phillip. Remember, Mr. Phillip, Ronald Phillip, sorry. Remember that his tenure as acting police commissioner ended on the 31st of July, and it began on the 15th of June. So the matter is before the Public Service Commission, and we should have some information to share with you, if not today, but by next week. So if anybody from the office of the Prime Minister is listening, come on, people are listening from the office of the Prime Minister. They are. The office of the Prime Minister. Call and provide us with some information if you can confirm whether we have acting police commissioner to preside over the island's lone law enforcement agency. What's that message? I thought Mr. John Peters and others on the government side said $10 million would complete the hospital whilst in opposition. They now need $200 million. That sounds fishy. And that money is to finance campaign for election and for these guys to put money in their pockets. Lucians, watch your bread. Of course, in the case of the latter, we can confirm it. We cannot confirm this. You are watching NewsSpin on our NewsSpin Facebook page. We are also on YouTube, and you're listening to the broadcast on Power 97.9 FM. Still to come, who is the snake in St. Lucia? Could be best described as a snake. Because Mr. Stephenson King is saying he's not the snake, and you'll hear from him who is the real snake.
Treat yourself to KFC's new Genius menu. Get your choice of one-piece chicken, corn, and biscuit, or one-piece chicken, fries, and biscuit, or one-piece chicken, mac and cheese, and biscuit for just $11.50. Order now through WhatsApp at 484-0400
or visit our website kfcslu.com
or dine in at any one of our locations. Now that's a genius choice with unbeatable value. KFC, finger licking good.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Contact Lucelec before trimming or cutting down trees that are near overhead electrical wires. Watch out for power lines before you begin working on a ladder. Be sure that ladders or scaffolds are far enough away so that you and the ends of the tools you're using don't come within 10 feet of power lines. And never use any electrical appliance in wet surrounding outdoors or in the rain.
This message is brought to you by Lucelec, the power of caring.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Automotive art is a place to start.
Automotive art is now bigger and better with bargains galore. Automotive art has expanded. With new exciting products and increased shopping comfort, we welcome you to visit. Celebrate with us and take advantage of our specials. New tires starting at $129, 25% off all tools and accessories, up to 75% off rims, BOGO specials, car care bundles, and other bargains galore. Automotive art, bigger and better.
They call me the serpent, but we all know the biggest serpent in this country, who he is. He stole your vote in the election of 1992. And 6 days later, he walked across the floor with your votes in his pocket. And he said, baby, I've had enough. I can't take it no more. That was the biggest snake. What did they do? They compensated him and placed him at Government House and made him believe that he's the greatest man on earth. In my case, after 5 years of frustration, after warning, after cautioning, after attempting to say, listen, these are not the things you should do. This is not the way to go. My friends, when enough was enough, I waited for the moment. I waited for the moment with patience like Job. And once that term was ended, I had served the people of my constituency and my country. Once he announced that the term has come to an end, I went to you and I spoke to you and I said, "Ça pas flambeau, I am out of it." I did it. I did it with decency. I said, I am not going to run the election as Flambeau and hope to win, and then to cross the floor and insult the people who voted for me. I said, no, I have served. I've served, and I believe I've served you to the best of my ability. The next election, I am not running on a Flambeau ticket. And I said it only after the term came to an end. And you want to call me snake?
All right, so putting on the defense there, why people are calling him snake. So we had Jake the Snake Roberts. Remember this guy in wrestling? Jake the Snake, wrestler, actor, etc. And supporters of the United Workers' Party, they have christened Mr. Stevenson King a snake. But Mr. King is saying he's not a real snake. The real snake is Mr. Neville Snack, who crossed the floor. He won or captured or retained the library seat on a St. Lucia Labour Party ticket, and then he crossed the floor, changing allegiance. Mr. King said it was in 1992, but actually it was in 1987 when you had 2 general elections in April of that year. So he's putting a defense. I don't know if you concur with his assessment, looking at his experience versus that, or his actions versus that of Mr. Neville Snack, who went on to serve as the island's Governor General in the previous United Workers' Party administration. Let's continue with your calls and WhatsApp messages, and of course a discussion in the chat room. Good afternoon to you. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello? Hello, good afternoon. Okay, we have lost that call. All right, we have tons of messages as far as your WhatsApp messages. Okay, Kimani, what's happening in the chat room?
Someone says, I live across the road from a so-called box in NYC. I really don't know why St. Lucians love living in the Stone Age. Another comment, besides the old buildings being suitable for use as a hospital, the more important question is, for how long will we be able to depend on these buildings? What is the life left on those buildings? Caller, what did they say about the Bois d'Orange Mall? Who owns it now? Let's see what will happen to the hospital box. Another comment, the sad thing is not many people have the emotional control and mental fortitude to be given the responsibility of having a firearm in their possession. According to the requirement, it should be on you, on your person at all times. How many people have reacted in situations only to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, when they regain their composure? Another comment, I can never ever disagree with anyone who kills a thief on their property. No exceptions. My question for today is, if PJP had a walkthrough of St. Jude with the investors from the Middle East, did they walk through the new part that Shas was building, or the old burnt out part SLP was building? Another comment, someone says the licensed firearm holder saved many lives. Another comment in the chat room, someone says Tim King is such an embarrassment. That is about it, Tim.
Thank you so much, Kimani. WhatsApp message, somebody says, I hope my faith in God is not weakened. It was these same guys, particularly the Prime Minister, while in opposition, led the country to believe that the loan for the HIA was a burden on our children, when he knew it was only travelers paying for it. Now he is doing to us exactly what he accused the previous administration of doing. God is not sleeping. How long did the Saudis spend in St. Lucia to make such an assessment on the old hospitals to conclude that they are safe? Let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages while we are awaiting your calls. Somebody says there that the St. Jude Hospital is a cash cow for politicians. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Mr. Anthony Avril. How are you, sir?
I am fine, sir. I'm fine.
It's a while I haven't heard from you.
A long time, man. You are like Passepartout, man. One time you are this way, and one time you are the other way.
That what makes me balance, moving from one side to the other.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Calling to share some information with your listeners, team.
Go ahead, sir.
We have a team of eye doctors arriving on Sunday. They're coming from a group called, the acronym is VOSH, which stands for Volunteer Optometry Service to Humanity. But actually, the group which is coming, they are not only bringing optometrists with them, they also have ophthalmologists. They have 2 ophthalmologists and 2 optometrists. And of course, they will be working alongside with our local team. And the Monday the 7th, they will be at the Viewfort Special Education Center. And Tuesday the 8th, they will be at the Soufouye Special Education Center. And Wednesday the 9th, they will be right here in Castries at the RC Boys Infant School. The clinic will be open to the general public. They will be doing complete, and I want to emphasize that, complete eye examination. And then the other good news, that it is a gift to the public. It's free. They will not be charged for the examination. And the clinic begins at 9 in the morning on all 3 days. That's the first day, Monday, Vieux-Fort, second day, Tuesday, Soufouye, and the third clinic will be in Castries on Wednesday. So the members of the general public are urged to make use of this opportunity to have their eye examined. SLBW, St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association, continue to remind the citizens that each and every one of us is responsible for our eye health. It begins and ends with us. So we hope that the public will make full use of this opportunity.
What are the days again, Mr. Avril?
Yes, sir. Monday, the 7th of August, they will be at Viewfort Special Education Center.
From what time?
From 9.
Okay, 9 in the morning.
In the morning.
Right.
Okay. And the 8th of August, Tuesday, they will be at Soufouye Special Education Center from the same time, 9 a.m. And the Wednesday, they will be in Castries at the RC Boys Infant School from 9 a.m.
Okay, all right.
Okay, and so these are as I just want to repeat, it's a complete examination that they will be doing.
All right.
And the exam is free to members of the general public.
What about if people need eyeglasses?
Well, if people need eyeglasses, of course, they will be given their prescription. They will make decision what they do with their prescription.
So those are not available?
Yes. We run an eye clinic, so some may want to patronize our clinic, but we, of course, naturally we will encourage them to patronize our clinic. But at the end of the day, people make decision when it comes to them and doctors. People go to where they feel comfortable. You know how it is. But we certainly, for example, at our clinic, we charge $80 for adults and $30 for children. Those clinics that we are offering to the public, they will be getting that free okay? And other clinics even charge more than us. So it's a good opportunity. And then, of course, Tim, it's not only glasses, you know. Sometimes people have other problems they're not even aware of, you know. Because there are some of these conditions. Sometimes when you realize you have a problem, it's almost like it's like almost too late, you know. So we want to encourage people. Once you have reached the age of 40, everybody should ensure that they are having their eyes checked, you know.
Okay, Mr. Avril. Thank you so much for speaking with us on NewsSpin.
Thank you, sir.
All right, just heard there from Mr. Anthony Avril of the St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association. We have a photograph to share with you. We'll just put it on the screen right now, those of you watching on Facebook, because we have accompanied by that with a WhatsApp message. Tim, this is the newest hospital in Toronto, Humber River. How does it look, or what does it look like? So the photograph you're watching right now, somebody says there, implying that it looks like the box, the one that is in VA4. Tim, this is the newest hospital in Toronto. Let's continue with your calls. As we say, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Bon après-midi, monsieur Tim.
Oui, bon après-midi, monsieur.
Ça fait la voix sur mes cloches. Tim, et puis, mon appel à qui t'a coûté. Problème, moi, ni, et puis l'argent, Philippe, fait prêter. Et puis, il va y dépenser à sous vieux Saint-Jude. Question, moi, quand je là, pour qu'il pas continuer l'hôpital neuf la nous jamais là. Et puis, Tim, quand on est un citoyen, si un gouvernement a prêté l'argent pour faire travailler le pays, nous pour ça qui date pour a commencé, qui date qui a fini. Parce que c'est nous qui a payé l'homme ça là. C'est pas Philippe Dieu-Pierre. Et si la pièce moun qui a supporté Philippe Dieu-Pierre pour pas nous en date, qui date l'hôpital là qui a commencé et puis qui date qui a fini, c'est moun ça a besoin de faire scan parce que je sais plus si c'est un problème. À Dabio. Et puis, vous avez indiqué qu'on et puis vote by pays, beaucoup de vote by coulé. Ça fait opinion, et puis, mon pas jamais supporté pour le gouvernement, ça là, il peut quantité l'argent. Et puis, là, le building qui a presque fini, l'hôpital qui a presque fini, et puis, il a écrasé, on vient l'hôpital qui est là, et follow, il a plus tard. Alors, moi, je supporté l'hôpital neuf là, pour Philippe Dieu continuer, tout le temps, il pas continuer, il pas rien la paix, et puis, moi, je toujours. Depuis moi, je sais qui joue. Viens l'hôpital, ça a commencé. Moi, il y a un cas de sang-vieux fort placablement, et c'est pas pièce bagaille là, c'est faire. Ça s'opinion, moi.
Okay, merci. Kimani, what's in the chat room?
Someone says in the chat room, we are thankful. Bravo to the Saudis coming to our rescue. Hope our government doesn't continue to fail the people in healthcare. Someone says, but if he's speaking on the SLP stage, that means he's SLP. He's just insulting them by wearing a blue shirt. What is he hiding? Someone says, complaining about King all y'all want. Question is, who will unseat him from UWP? I'll wait.
That's unseat him in the Castries North constituency.
Okay. That is it for what's in the chat room.
Okay, thank you so much. We have a call. Hello, good afternoon to you. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Sorry about that, but I just tuned into your program. I was late.
No problem.
I just want a clarification. Can you tell me whether the new hospital which is being proposed, would they be breaking down the old buildings to start afresh?
No. It's reconstruction and rehabilitation. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a sad day in St. Lucia, Tim. What I would like to know, a question I'd like to ask, especially to, I'd just like to hear the views of people like Dr. Stephen King, the renowned doctor, and maybe the Medical and Dental Association. Just what's their views on that, as opposed to what the SLP is proposing now to do with St. Jude's versus continuing that new building which started. Like, what's their views? Because I know they were very vocal, in the past. I could hear Dr. Stephen King. What is he think that they're doing the best thing for St. Lucia, what is being proposed now, or does he think that they should just continue with what Chastney started?
I think if Mr. King wanted to speak on this matter, he would have done it a long time ago.
Yeah, but
so through his silence, I think he's saying to us that he is in agreement with the decision being taken by the government.
Okay, sure. And what about the Medical and Dental Association? What's their views on that? Because they would have thought what Chastney built, they would have thought both buildings in the past and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. The same applies, I guess.
Boy, it's a sad day.
All
I'm
right.
not taking any sides, but it's just a sad day, boy. If you could hear those people speak and let the population hear their views, especially people like Dr. Stephen King and the Medical and Dental Association, Because politicians will be politicians.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the people that will suffer. It's the taxpayers. Anyway, Tim, have a nice day.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Let's see if we get a WhatsApp call on the air right now. Hello, good afternoon. You on the air? Hello?
Yes, good day, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. So I just want to make a slight correction. I've been hearing quite often that successive governments are responsible for the old St. Jude. This should be corrected.
They're responsible for not completing the project, Scholar.
Which project?
The hospital.
You mean the old hospital or hospital to the south of the island?
Generally in the south, for not completing it.
Okay, so we need to separate the two matters. The old hospital started with Mr. King. It continued with me with Kenyon Tony. When the United Workers' Party and the Alan Chastney came in, they decided that they will not touch this corruption that was going on at St. Jude. And it was not worth using taxpayers' money in 25 or 26 buildings that are in deplorable state. And they started a new state-of-the-art hospital for the south of the island. Before this government got into power, they said that they will not continue with the new hospital, that they will go back to the whole hospital. So Mr. Chastney has nothing to do with the $500,000, $1 billion that was spent at the whole hospital. He has nothing to do with it. And I dare say who we have to blame for what we are now experiencing is the people of St. Lucia. For after having heard Mr. Philip JPS say that he will not continue the new hospital, this was enough reason to say we do not want you to lead our country because we're not going backward. We're going to go forward. And the gentleman had an opportunity after Kenny Anthony and Mr. Stephen King did the wrong thing. He had an opportunity to make things right by using the monies that he's gotten to continue the new hospital. And the thing I find that is really, really something that is heart-wrenching is that the gentleman has collected X amount of money, has borrowed X amount of money on behalf of the people of St. Lucia. Now he knows he would be able to borrow that money based on some assessment he would have made as to how much money we needed. The gentleman has the money in hands and he cannot tell the people of this country how he's going to spend this money. There is something wrong with this.
He has not been given the money, caller. In principle, the Saudis, they have agreed to give him the money, but the money has not been disbursed yet. But eventually, the government of St. Lucia will get the money.
But at least he knows how much he will be getting.
Yes.
He should be able to tell us how much he's going to be spending in first phase, second phase, and the final phase. If this cannot be done, that is a stench of corruption. If you have monies in hand, which belong to the people of this country, and it's the people's money, and you cannot tell them how you're going to spend that money, that is a recipe for corruption. And I think we need to demand, before this money is disbursed, we need to demand of this government, tell us in the first phase, this large sum of $201 million, how are you going to spend it? Because if he does not tell us how he's going to spend the money, if he overspent, we cannot know he has overspent. So I do believe that they're listening, and we'll continue to call upon them that they do what is right and let people know that the money they have borrowed on our behalf, how they're going to utilize that money. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Let's take another call via WhatsApp. Let's see if we get this call on the air. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. Hello.
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
I am okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Tim. Yes, I'm calling from Canada, and I was just listening this thing there. And the government, just to be conservative, the government said they're going to use $100 million or whatever, but I'm going to say 80 million to work on the old hospital when they have a new building. Somebody's not doing their job. Somebody's crazy. I don't want to call people stupid, but this is real. What are you doing? Who's going to pay for that money? Tim, you and the people living in St. Lucia. I'm not coming back to live there. But people are going to suffer. This is too much money to use on an old building. You don't even know if it have the proper height. Who tell you that amount of money you're going to use? Who is giving you the information? I'm not blaming Mr. King or nobody for nothing, but I'm just saying, you need to go, because you're saying the new hospital has the 12-foot. They need 12-foot height for ceilings, because they're going to have a drop ceiling. Did you get the people that are going to come and put up the machines for you? How you come up with that number? What are you doing? You take solutions for fools? Thank you, Tim.
All right, so calling from the diaspora. Yesterday we had somebody we have deemed to be the passionate caller of the day. And let's play this contribution in case you missed it.
Tricks. I call it tricks. But you know what they say? Tricks are for kids. Tim, Philip JP pretending like he doesn't know. He has to give the date of completion. When you go in the bank and take a loan to build a house, just like the former caller said, there's a time frame. They give you money for the foundation, money for the building, money for the payments for the salaries, for everything. And you have a time frame, expected time date. He think he's smart, because we know he's not smart. He think he's smart. He's saying at the earliest possible time. That is Boboli's talk. Everybody know that. When you don't want to do something, you're giving them kind of phrase. So when you be taken to court, you can say you did not give a date. That's Boboli's talk. Everybody know that. What I'm saying is, again, they got 100 and something million already to build that hospital. You know what are killing me? These Saudis, these Americans, and these financial institutions know that these fellas are lying, you know. He's still giving them money. But us, the people, when you want a little loan, they say them buy them petty cash, little advance place, and them place to take $20 when we want loans to do real projects.
Yesterday's most passionate caller on NewsSpin. Still to come, we'll be hearing from a granny. Please stay with us as we continue to watch NewsSpin on our NewsSpin Facebook page. We are also on YouTube, and you're listening on Power 97.9 FM.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbouté at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilec aveti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone Sala. Mi an ti commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Kouye Lucilec avant ou trim et bien couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout zouti ou ka servi pas vini moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Treat yourself to KFC's new Genius menu. Get your choice of one-piece chicken, corn, and biscuit, or one-piece chicken, fries, and biscuit, or one-piece chicken, mac and cheese, and biscuit for just $11.50. Order now through WhatsApp at 484-0400
or visit our website kfcslu.com
or dine in at any one of our locations. Now that's a genius choice with unbeatable value. KFC, finger licking good.
Automotive art is a place to start. Automotive art is a place to start.
Yeah, look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start hair tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
Ouais, messieurs, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow. Si t'en la pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, me money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. Yo ni pli mer pour pomme cette ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Brand pump yo c'est Léo. Pump ça c'est Major. Ils bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten mois actuellement. Gloka Fonte. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452 0763.
452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. So that is 716-2026. We have a call in line. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Brother Timmy.
Good afternoon, caller.
Golden Dragon here. You know, Timmy, every day I feel like crying. When I listen to certain callers, I feel crying. I mean, it cannot be in this day and age so backward in our thinking. We cannot be so backward in our thinking. We have to think progressively, think analytically, man. I mean, the last caller there called about saying Philip JP got some money and he tell us how he's going to spend it and what he's going to spend on the first phase and the second phase and the third phase. And I mean, what happened to these guys? Maybe,
so for that, that's why you want to cry?
I mean, I want to cry because the fellas are not thinking properly, man.
But that is the man's point of view. The man is a taxpayer. You are a taxpayer. If you do not want to ask those questions, that's your business. Go ahead and cry.
No, but you see, he's asking. Anyhow, let's move on. Timmy, see you. You better go on the law. You better go on the law.
No, but if you want to cry, just cry, guys. Maybe you want to cry for some other reason.
I come in and you don't cry.
And you want to blame my callers.
I cannot cry with you, but Timmy, Timmy, let's face it. You know this hospital. Well, the hospital didn't get burned down. You know, a wing got burned down. And the quickest thing to do, call your guys together, your architects, your engineers, and you fix that wing in, let's say, a year. There was no need for this thing to go to the stage that Bobo it is today. You know who was in charge of the government when that wing broke down?
Who was in charge?
The Judas, the snake.
No. I'm not calling it. No.
Sorry.
I'm not calling anybody snake or Judas. Okay, but
Mr. King was in charge.
Was the prime minister of the country at the time. Right.
It was a simple decision to instruct your guys, you the boss, instruct your department of infrastructure, get your architects together, get your engineers, get your construction workers, and put the wing back in order in 6 months. You give a directive. You know, and get how you call it. There's a department, you have to submit your plans to them and so on and so on. I forget how you call that department, where you submit your plans and they must first give you the okay.
Not the planning department or the DCA?
DCA. So all these things, I mean, for some reason something was not done, and it was done in a hali-kasi kind of way. You had people doing something today, next day they break it down and do something.
But don't forget it was the same Prime Minister, Philip JP, who asked the audience to applaud Mr. King yesterday.
Well, boy, I didn't hear that part. I don't know why he asked for an applause for Mr. King. I guess the king is on his side now. He's playing games, but you can't play them games all the time. You can't fool people all the time. You fool people sometimes, but not all the time. So I am saying that this bobo we have, they call St. Jude cash cow, what do they call it, the cash cow. Some smart fellas say, well, let's make that cash cow. That could have been avoided if from day one, the government in office had taken the decision to repair that wing. It's a wing that burned down, not the whole hospital, a wing. Repair that wing in a year, get your team together, get the proper plan, get DC approval, and let's go. This thing, from day one, was a halikasi. Now let's move on quickly. So, in my mind, the best thing to do was to repair the old building. This new building was another mistake again. Why are you going to take a new project and look for new money to build something brand new, to call it state of the art? Don't let state of the art fool you. The country can't afford 2 hospitals. We can't even afford 1. You want to afford 2 hospitals? That is madness. We cannot afford 2 hospitals as a small country. We cannot afford our little OKEU. And we have Victoria there to also help to finance. And we have our health centers to finance. We cannot do this kind of thing. You know, money not falling from heaven. We have to go and beg for money. You know, I mean.
Okay, so now the response by Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre. You agree with what the decision that he has taken?
But between me and you, Timmy, the man is back against the wall. He had no choice. You reach a stage where you have to take the money where you can get it for as small interest as small as the interest is possible. If you can get a 2%, or 1%, or 0.5%, or no percent interest, take it and do what you have to do. And poor job, the Honorable Philip J. Pierre, my former teacher, and I love that man. I love the man a lot. That man was one of my best teachers in my life. I love this guy to death. This man,
you learned anything from him?
a lot, my brother.
Okay, all right.
Man inspired me. I mean, all my teachers from RC Boys to St. Mary's College, to Alphabet, to Cable Campus, Barbados, this is one of my best teachers. The guy had time for us, to inspire us, to motivate us, to take his time to feel our stresses and help us to go the right way. You know, I praise this man. And I know this man will do a good job. He might not do the best job in everybody's mind, but to me, so far, he's done a fine job. My only problem with him, he should have not put Richard Frederick and Stephen King in his cabinet. He should not put them in your cabinet. And that is why Kenny Anthony has not sit in the cabinet because of Richard Frederick. You don't sit in the cabinet with Richard Frederick, man. Richard Frederick is a crazy fella. Crazy fella. But anyways, so Timmy...
But Kola, how can you make that assessment? Be very careful, you know. How can you make that assessment of an individual? Okay, you're not in a position to do that.
I didn't say he's mad. I say he's crazy. There's a big difference between mad and crazy.
Anyway.
Crazy is when you're doing anything, you're thinking properly and doing things properly. That's crazy. Mad is when you have some kind of disability and so on.
Okay, but all I'm saying is you're not in a position to diagnose anyone. Okay,
No,
whether you're talking about crazy or mad. But
his behavior is a bit off,
all right,
off target.
Let's move on, sir.
So Timmy, let me say this to you, by poor Prime Minister, and I don't mind, I born a flubbo in my bones, and I wasn't really flubbo. I was a John Compton man. John Compton, the father of the nation. The man had a vision. Man was a God-given gift to us. I was a John Compton man, not flubbo. And when John Compton died, he died of his flubbo. And John Compton had said before he died that the two men he wanted to take his party forward, as he said it to me, was Guy Mayers and Spider Leonard Montour. These are the two men he saw in his vision and his eyes to take this country forward. And I tell you, if those guys were in charge from then, we'd be a long way ahead, man. You've been in a fellow called Shasley. I know where we getting it from. I think it's from Canada. We get him from Canada. Where you getting it from? You've been in a guy called Stevenson King. You don't know his head from his back. But, I mean, we've made a lot of mistakes.
But you came from Cicero, you could not win a seat when you contested.
Goodbye, Cici.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, our NewsSpin question of the day. What do you think of the $201 million Saudi loan? And some of your comments, somebody say, I like the fact they got the loan, but why not finish the newest building? Just asking for someone who is not Saint-Lucian, but married to one. Another one says, $120 million on a new hospital was a waste of taxpayers' money, but $201 million on an old structure is supposed to be a good investment. That's like telling your child you wasted money on his education, then you borrow twice the amount of money to send your grandmother to university. Another comment. Payment for the new hospital built by the United Party administration from the Saudis, pretending to look like a loan from them instead. Follow it closely. Another one. This is a great move. If building the hospital can save one's life, it is worth more than the loan. This hospital should have been completed already. Another comment, I believe the government needs to be transparent and release the loan agreement to the voting public. At the same time, we are calling on the government to release with immediate effect the 40-year GPH agreement, which prevents the development of the VA4 port. Apparently, VA4 has not suffered enough. We have not forgotten the hidden under the table. Okay, I'm not continuing with this one. Let's see, another one says there, this is sure a great move. Those who are not for it should present a way forward. All over the Caribbean and Africa, the politics is the same. Enrich yourself and those close to you. We are not independent, that's why it's this way. We still pay the crown for a time and investment into the country. For these loans are needed because what we make goes to England under either party. Loans is all we can do until those who have capital on island invest in the country. That's what we vote for. More burden and more debate. Another one says, hardship in our children's array when this loan has to be paid back. Another comment. I think it has to complete the job. If not, they have to pay back every cent from the team pocket. The total amount is not that important. Finishing is that's important. So he and his team think it's possible to fix the old one, so be it. I will support anything that will end for good results. I'm one that do not support fixing old things, but there are people that believe in fixing and going through negative stress in fixing old things. Sometimes you have to stand back and let people do what they're good at. All men are created equal, but not all men see and do things the same. Big up PJP. Yeah, 5 years will be good learning process. Another one says, brilliant. At least it will definitely and certainly finish the hospital once and for all, because the people in the South, they have suffered. Some more. Chaos already written all over the country, already knowing St. Lucia will be in deep trouble waters. Another one says, I think it's exactly what the country needs. Another loan to burden the populace, taken out without public debate, with a murderous regime who is on a PR campaign to whitewash its human rights record with visits to Grenada, St. Vincent, and Guyana this year alone. So what do I think? This is what St. Lucian political leaders do and have done. Beg, borrow, and steal money on behalf of the people of St. Lucia. Happy Emancipation celebrations. Another comment. Tim, put the loan in your pipe and smoke it. Another 25 years for PJP. You can try all. What you think, it will not work. Another one says, this government has a 5-year grace period. Payment to commence in 2028. Where will SLP be in 2028? The natural hazard clause while not building resilience. PJP, we the people deserve to this loan agreement, to see this loan agreement based on St. Lucia's previous experience with the Saudis. Mr. Bermuda is online via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Three-time Journalist of the Year, Mr. Tim Poleon and Kibani. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, that loan, I had it boasted about 2% interest. Speaking under correction, the great man, the world's greatest leader, Sir Alan Michael Shastney, every loan he got was almost about 2%. Right? 2%, the great man, Sir Alan Michael Shastney. Secondly, have you ever seen a hospital with 25 different houses, like is a housing estate? You want to go, Dr. Senor Valley, go to the elements, go there, go here, go there, in the elements? That's a housing estate. Thirdly, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Alva Baptiste, I thought he said all the hospital needed some chemical and it's good to go. Did he say that, Tim?
Yes, sir.
Good. Fourthly, St. Lucia's best engineer, John Peters. I tell that man to get out of my country, you know. The man said that all he needed is $5 million to complete St. Jude's, man. To give us what $5 million will give us? A cabaret. Okay? This man doesn't have solution interest. He, Richard Pinikin, and Tulsi. These guys have to get out of the country, man.
Okay.
This is the
no. Hold on, Mr. Babina. We don't subscribe to that. Okay? We do not subscribe to that at all. I think I've heard that you... No, hold on. You do that kind of thing on your Facebook page where you call for those individuals to be removed from St. Lucia, expelled from St. Lucia. We are forward thinkers, at least most of us on NewsSpin. We have St. Lucians who are living in various parts of the world. And if they speak out and the government of the day is in disagreement, or citizens of that country are in disagreement, would we want them to be deported on that basis, sir? So we are all, we are all citizens of the world. We are citizens of the world. So disagree with them, sir, but I don't think you have any right to call for them to be deported.
Tim, I'm glad you mentioned that. Come in Bermuda and say those kind of things and see what I tell you. I can recall going one day I was downtown Miami when Obama was running for his first time in office. And I was in the mall. And I said something. And it's only because of tourists, because they realized I'm a tourist, that they ain't shoot me, they ain't kill me. So don't go around talking about you could go to anybody's country and say what you feel like.
I'm just saying it's backward. That's very
John
backward.
Peters,
That's
John
very
Peters,
backward.
Tim,
No. Take them on what they've
Tim,
said, decisions
said-
they have taken, etc. What the recommendations they've made.
They are foreigners.
But don't be
they are
so
foreigners.
personal.
Tim, they are foreigners that does a lot more for other countries than some of the locals, and that's a fact. But I am saying people like John Peters, Peter Kidder, and Tulsi are oppressors. This man said $5 million was give us a nice hospital. John Peters. Peter King said 2.5%. That ain't nothing on the poor people in St. Lucia. These guys are oppressors. Tulsi disagree with everything that's good for St. Lucia. These guys that don't have for St. Lucia, what you saying to me? Are they gonna just say and accept the nonsense? That's what you're saying to me?
I'm saying disagree with them. But don't be personal, sir.
No, I'm not personal. I am not personal. Tim, I told you I have family all over the world. I have family all over the world and they have solutions all over the world. But those guys don't have the interest in St. Lucia. They don't care nothing about St. Lucia. Listen to what they're saying and listen to what they're doing. That's what I'm talking about. I am judging you by your character because there are St. Lucians that are worse than foreigners. Okay? Listen to what they're doing and listen to what they say. That's what I'm dealing with. I'm judging you by your character.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Bermuda. What is happening in the chat room, Kimani?
Someone says, St. Lucia is the only place in the world where there is a waterfall and a hospital. Wow, you are just brilliant. Another comment, if we have to take a page from history, SLP has never completed a hospital. Well, I can say neither has maybe UWP, or have they, Timothy?
I mean, you had the St. Jude Hospital. I don't know which government have been in office yet. I don't think we were taking care of our own affairs at that time. Victoria, I'm not too sure. So neither administration have been responsible for any construction of any health institution in this country, apart from the OKEU. Mm-hmm.
Someone says, PIP in bed with the Saudis is a cause for concern. Another comment, correct me if I'm wrong, King was refurbishing, then lost the elections, and in came KDA, who changed to a state of the art. Let's see another comment. How can we know the cost of a building with no plans? What document was used to create the budget? How can bidding be done by any construction company without a bill of quantity? How can efficient planning be done? What documents do contractors and engineers reference to keep a steady flow of work? How can contractors be held responsible for below standard work if there are no plans? I hope the PM waits for the plans before going ahead.
I think we have a WhatsApp call from the diaspora. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Hey, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Hello, Tim. How you doing? How is everything?
I am okay. How about you?
I'm good.
Where are you calling from?
There, Tim. Was I?
Where are you calling
I'm
from?
in St. Lucia now.
Okay,
I'm
all
in
right.
St. Lucia now.
All right, go ahead, please.
Okay. Wasn't John Peters on that committee, the government formed to assess the two hospitals and to advise the government on their way forward?
Yes,
on
Mr.
which
John
hospital
Peters,
to-
Mr. Hennicat as well, and among others.
Okay. And didn't he made a statement about $10 million to finish the hospital, which hospital he said $10 million was all they need to finish it? Which one?
I can't recall exactly which one he was making reference to, but what I remember him suggesting is the use of the old hospital as well as the new one that was constructed by the previous administration.
Okay, because I could recall the man is saying the reason they move forward with the old St. Jude is because it's only about $10 million to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I could recall that. And then you had Alva Baptist saying we only needed some chemical to flush and clean, and then we good to the finishing and we good. What are we doing if a $200 million loan when the technocrats, the advisors to the government on the way forward to finishing the hospital said it was only about $10 million? Who is lying, Tim? Who is lying? Somebody is not telling us the truth here. Something is not right. I don't care. I want a hospital in the South. I'm from the South. You understand? I mean, come on. $1 billion just to complete one hospital so far. And it's all right. And we don't know if it will finish, Tim. We don't know yet, Maybe they just start taking money, my team, to finish that hospital. I want somebody to call or enlighten me on that statement, that $10 million by John Peters to finish Wood St. Jude. He made that statement. Or I will find it. I know you could find it too, Tim. Because I think it was on your show he said that. Okay. I think it was on your show. So I'll find it. Thank you.
All right. I'll try to find the relevant information as well. So let us hear from Granny. Sent me a voice note earlier today, and she wants to have a say on the decision by the government to have this signing agreement with the Saudis for $201 million loan.
The hospital, Flambeau had to. What happened? Philip Javier cannot do that hospital. Who pay that money? He said he going to do the next hospital. Who pay for that? The kind of money he asked for that hospital. Right? Why don't finish that hospital for us? If it's him that taking money for his pocket to pay that hospital, to finish it, and that one almost finished already, just to start the hospital and to finish, the people need the hospital. Thing is hard. Nobody not working. No job for nobody. Thing in the supermarket expensive. Everything going up. You mean tell me they have another hospital there to do it? You want to do another hospital that costing money like that? And you have a hospital that to do, the people need the hospital? What happened to Philip Japier? He don't have a plan. A man don't have a plan, don't have no vision, Okay? You don't know the people we call for that?
All right, our Granny contributor on today's NewsSpin program. And finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. NewsSpin news of the day. UN Security Council talks global food supply as Russia attacks Ukraine agriculture. UN Security Council talks global food supply as Russia attacks Ukraine agriculture. Our NewsSpin news of the day as well as the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching during the course of the week on NewsSpin, on our YouTube page as well as our NewsSpin Facebook page. And thank you so much for listening to the broadcast on Power 97.9 FM. Have yourself a great, enjoyable, and safe weekend. And we'll be back, God willing, Monday afternoon, 12:30. Goodbye.